All right, welcome to Tulsiology. I'm going to make a bold statement because I want these videos to be impactful and to get to the heart of the matter. Okay, here's something from American Military News. Tulsi Gabbard introduces bills to drop charges against Snowden, Assange, and to reform the Espionage Act. Now, those in the military-industrial complex, those who are either neoliberal or neoconservative, do not like this. They don't want this to happen. The Democratic Party, the party that used to be filled with people like Mike Gravel during the 1970s, has abandoned that to join the corporate party that the Republican Party has been a part of for a very long time. And you basically get, two flavors of the same kind of ice cream. Whereas Tulsi Gabbard is saying, I want to throw the ice cream in the garbage, and I need to start over, and we need to start over. So there are no Democrats who are running around worried about Snowden and Assange. You see it on Twitter. You see a lot of the people that follow my channel and those who follow me on Twitter. They talk about this. There are libertarians that talk about it. There are some independents that talk about it. Tulsi fans love the fact that she is willing to stand up for free speech and that she cares about government whistleblowers. Everybody else, because this is what happens. You get this job and you become a government employee. I mean, you get elected to something and you are part of the government. Donald Trump used to say, hey, I'm not a politician. Well, he is one now. Your job title changed. You went from businessman to president. Tulsi Gabbard went from private citizen to state legislature to eventually Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard. So she's employed by the government. Now, the government basically oversees your employment. In the Congress and, pretty much in any position in government, the way they oversee your employment is to put pressure on you, either via like a party leader, like a Nancy Pelosi, or they use the news media. They send out, their little hench people to go out and to sit you down and to convince you that you need to condemn all these dictators so we can begin World War III. That's pretty much what the media has been doing for, probably since George H.W. Bush. I don't think as much under Reagan or Carter. And you have to go back a ways. I mean, it's been around for a long time, though. In the old days, though, it used to kind of come and go. It used to be fits and starts, and knowing what the Pentagon is doing, that's why Mike Gravel read those papers into the congressional record, which if you did that now, I think people would come and escort you out of the building. Somebody would be pounding the gavel so loudly that you wouldn't be able to hear it. So here's the details. Tulsi Gabbard tweeted her announcement of 3 new bills on Tuesday, which include 2 resolutions to drop espionage charges against NSA leaker Edward Snowden and WikiLeaks owner Julian Assange, and a 3rd bill proposing reforms to the Espionage Act. One thing about Tulsi Gabbard is she's really busy. Okay, she doesn't have to do this anymore. She could go out and just coast. She's made her point, but what she's saying, again, it's like when she voted present when everybody was trying to impeach, and she didn't think it rose to the level of impeachment, and obviously it ticked off all of the neoliberals in her midst. Because there is a difference between fake corruption and real corruption. And yes, there are things that you could have gone after President Trump on. The problem for Democrats is if they go after Trump on those things, then they also have to go after themselves for doing the same thing. And then to go back and indict people like Barack Obama or Bill Clinton. Certainly George W. Bush, who is basically one of them now, which is an amazing story of rehabilitation in the media. Imagine, I mean, I lived through 2004. I don't know where you were, but Bush was a war criminal. John Kerry was running because he was a peacenik and he threw his medals over the wall and so forth. And, there were all these books coming out, Unfit to Lead and so forth. But looking back, it was a noble reason to take Bush out of there. But I can guarantee you that if Kerry had won, that U-boat would have been going full steam ahead. Just would have been new managers. And that's an important point. Each administration basically has managers. And the president appoints the managers. The managers come in, they do things the way the president wants. And then, a new president gets elected, they bring in their managers. But really, the job description never changes. Here is where Tulsi Gabbard said, yeah, we need to change the job description. Espionage, telling the truth is not espionage, okay? Because the government isn't infallible. And that's what the last several administrations, and even Trump to some degree, they look at the government and say, oh, they have all the answers to our problems. And they are so transparent, so great for our democracy, and they're not. So here's what Tulsi says. Brave whistleblowers exposing lies and illegal actions in our government must be protected. Join me and urge Congress pass my bipartisan legislation, H.R. 1162 or H.R. 1175 or H.R. 8452. And again, charges against Snowden would be number 1, Assange would be number 2, and then reforming the Espionage Act. There's no way they're going to do this. There's no way. And this is why Eisenhower said to beware of the military-industrial complex. Beware, because they would slowly start to usurp power from all 3 branches of government, and the legislative branch especially. It's like legislators today are almost impotent. They're almost anemic, and people have to get used to this and start, not that they should be used to it, but if their expectations are that the Congress will fix something or a new president coming in will change it, things aren't, if Biden somehow wins this, things are not going to be better under Joe Biden. They're not. I mean, at least at one point, Trump said he liked WikiLeaks until someone got to him and said, shh, can't say that. I don't know. It was probably Jared Kushner who told him to knock it off. I don't know. But Tulsi Gabbard is the only one in Congress who really cares. And I know she's got bipartisan support, and that's a cool thing. And I should probably highlight the people over in the Republican Party. But see, Tulsi Gabbard is the only Democrat that cares about democracy and truth and getting to the bottom of things. Just like she doesn't like ballot harvesting. She proposed a lot of reforms going into this election because she, saw what was ahead. And whether you like Trump or not, most of the fraud in this election, I can guarantee you, is going to be perpetrated against Donald Trump, where his ballots get tossed and somehow ballots mysteriously pop up for Joe Biden. I mean, you can't have 17 people going to a Biden event and then just expect that you're in the lead and you're doing so well in the polls. And again, we're looking at 2016 in slow motion, and quite honestly, the car wreck for the Democrats might be a lot worse than what happened when Hillary Clinton ran. So good on Tulsi Gabbard. She's consistent. She's unique because she understands that if the foundations of our, national security and so forth are this corrupt, and we're not allowed to take a look under the hood and expose some of the things that our government is engaged in, then we have no control over this government. This government, we are not in control. We, the people, do not matter. If these whistleblowers are going to be prosecuted, locked up, and, God forbid, let to rot in jail, then, again, we don't have democracy. We don't have a free press. What we have is a tabloid press, which is different than a free investigative journalism style press. This is why everybody rejected the Veritas video that Tulsi shared, because that was actual investigative journalism, and the entire establishment didn't like where it came from. They didn't like the source. Well, guess what? If you're skeptical of something, and I think healthy skepticism is important when it comes to uncovering information, the skepticism can fuel really great reporting. Of course, if you have an agenda and you just want to overturn something and you want to try to find a way to frame someone, then you can do that as well. But in the old days, we used to have nonpartisan news and nonpartisan investigative reporting because we mattered in those days. Now it's pretty much just the lobbyists, big tech, oligarchs. I mean, go down a list of things. These corporations that are basically setting public policy. No matter who you vote for, the corporation is going to set the policy. We've seen that during the lockdown, that corporations actually overrule what the state government says that you should do, which, again, is nuts. It just shows you that they have too much power. And all of those people need to be exposed for the laws that they're breaking and for the trouble that they're causing. And again, humanity as it stands right now, we're all pretty much confused, upset. We want to break from all of this. We want to enjoy our lives again. We do want to go back to normal. We're not buying the new normal that everybody's trying to sell. And again, the same type of whistleblowers are out there doing great work on COVID-19 as well, but you're not allowed to see that work. So again, you can disagree with me on the health issues, but the same type of reporting is going on out there, and it's being censored, it's being blocked, it's being throttled back. And look, we're Americans. We deserve to know the truth, and the truth in this case could set you free. And the truth when it comes to both Snowden and Assange is they did something noble. They did not commit espionage, so that's just dumb. Anyway, that's my video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I think I've leveled off on the subscribers now. It's not going down, but I want to see if I can grow the channel again. So please subscribe to it. You don't have to do Patreon or whatever if you don't want to. There is a way to give via PayPal if you like what I do over here. Any little bit helps. You know, it keeps a little bit of money in the coffers. So when I do decide to do a video where I know I'm not going to get a lot of views just because I need to do the video, then I'm not getting crushed financially, taking risks and doing things that I wouldn't normally do on this channel. So again, thanks for watching, and I will see you very soon.